Welcome in to another episode or leg of our race around the world here at the Pit Stop Pals, part of the Reality Realm Network. My name is Kevin Oliver.
My name is Bruce Heller, and I think it would be really cool to have a waterbed.
Why don't you get one then?
I don't even know where to get one of those at, but the concept seems cool.
Have you
Also,
never
my
been
dog
on
might
one?
pop it, to be honest.
Have you never been on one?
I don't think so.
I don't think I'd like it.
I think I'd like it, but now that I say it out loud, my dog would pop it. Like jumping up on it.
I don't know. I feel like, people have had water beds and dogs before. It's probably pretty
Sure.
durable materials.
We'll have to find out sometime.
Yeah, you should get a water bed.
Use our show budget to get a waterbed.
I don't think you're getting a water bed with our show budget.
Exactly.
I
It'd
think
be
you should
nice,
use
though.
I think you should use your personal budget and get a water bed.
Eh.
You're the one who wants one.
Yeah, but I have a bed that I like. Like, this seems like a lot of effort for not a big enough payoff.
You don't
I
know.
have to keep
Maybe
up with making sure it's filled all the time.
is that how that works?
There's a lot of stuff I don't know. Like, this seems like it could easily be a lot of work.
I don't think it is. Where would the water be going?
I don't know. Water disappears, it evaporates. If I leave
Right.
a cup of water in a dark room, eventually, that water's gonna disappear.
Correct.
That's how water works.
Correct. But it's enclosed water. It's not just open air.
Well, air can get. I don't know. I feel like the water would disappear at some point.
Does waterbed water evaporate? Very slowly.
Yes!
It's normal to lose a minor amount of water over the years. You do not have to keep your waterbed full.
But it does evaporate, so I was half right.
But the whole context around it was you having to keep your waterbed full.
I'm still claiming I was half right because I knew it evaporated.
I mean,
Ignore the fact that I'm preaching a whole context centered series at church right now. I'm going to ignore context in this conversation so I can claim I was right.
I'm going to send this clip to all of your congregants.
That's fine. None of them will be surprised.
Okay, we should probably actually talk about the episode that we're talking
Yeah,
about.
we're recording twice today. We should get on that.
We don't need to say that out loud.
Well, there's not no issue doing it. Who cares?
No, but it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
Okay,
I'm still going to Walmart later, so we need to stay on track more. Is why I mentioned it.
you have all day. You're fine.
Well, let's stay on topic anyway, or try to.
It's you and me. Okay.
Good
Um,
try.
hang on. You're the one who brought up the water bet.
I didn't think you'd start like a whole conversation about it, though. I thought you'd roll your eyes and keep moving. To be honest.
I got to keep you guessing, man.
Fair enough.
Okay. Episode 5, Desert Storm. This episode starts with a them opening the clues to find a picture of a
Hold on,
monument.
hold on. Do you have any quotes before the episode starts?
Oh my gosh, you saved the day. Do you
Twice
have
in
any
a
quotes?
2 episodes in a row, you almost forgot quotes. You caught yourself last week.
Bro, I almost forget quotes every week.
Oh, well, I only noticed it last week and this week.
Okay, do you have any quotes?
Two.
What do you got?
Either Kevin, Drew, or both saying we heard Bert and Ernie yapping it up outside the gate, and just the different nicknames they've come up with for Bill and Joe throughout the season make me laugh.
Hmm.
And I have a Paul and Amy scene where Paul says, "Oh, we're not last," and Amy goes, "Oh, we're not," and Paul goes, "No." And they were in fact last place when that conversation happened.
Hey, optimism, man.
What?
Optimism.
As much as I've complained about them, I felt bad for them this episode.
Yeah,
Getting lost in the desert for 6 hours has gotta suck.
that's not even why I felt bad for them. I felt bad for them because Amy was sick the whole time.
Well, that too, but she was sick while they were lost in the desert. I don't think it gets worse than that this like so far this season.
Right. Well, I feel like if Amy wasn't sick, they wouldn't have been lost in the desert for 6 hours
True.
because she would have been able to help with the navigation.
Yeah. But he didn't threaten to quit, so cool.
Well, he kind of did.
Well, yeah, but not as direct as normal.
I mean, I am pretty sure he said at one point, "I'm ready to be done" or something. But
Every episode at this point, like we know he doesn't mean
All right, here's what I have. I also had the Bert and Ernie comment.
it.
I also had a Paul and Amy conversation where they got the walkie-talkies and Paul's going, "Amy, Amy, Amy," and Amy says, "Just talk, have a conversation." And he goes, "Okay, how's it going?" And she says, "Not with me."
I remember seeing that and I remember thinking, if not with you, who is he having a conversation with?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I
I
think
got
the best thing was what Kevin and Drew did, where they just blew into it and made noise instead of actually
mm, right. I got Drew's a dumbass. That was from Kevin. Not this Kevin, his partner Kevin.
talking. I love them so
Also,
much.
Bill and Joe keep calling Kevin and Drew the fatties.
Yeah, which to be fair, Kevin and Drew also aren't super nice about Bill and Joe in their confessionals either. So I guess it just goes both ways.
Yeah, but they don't. I mean, I don't feel like Kevin and Drew have given the reason that Joe and Bill have given
I said
to be.
I came into this season remembering not liking Bill and Joe, and so far, like they isolate themselves and give off a "we're better than everyone" vibe, but they haven't really done anything that terrible yet. Like I feel like everyone's reactions to them is worse than they've actually been to this point.
So far, absolutely, I would agree.
Like
It,
that's gonna change at some point, I assume, but like they haven't been that bad so far. They eat all their meals by their own. And they don't hang out with everyone, and they give off a "we think we're better than you" vibe, which is annoying. But you know,
it's annoying. It's kind of true, though.
it, I mean, maybe they're better at the game, but they
That's what I
do
mean.
what
I said that's what I mean.
they. I feel like they think they're fancier than everyone. They think they're better, and
Yeah,
that vibe. They don't hide that vibe at all.
not
But
at all.
they haven't really done anything to everyone else other than just not participate in group activities.
There was that alliance stuff at the beginning that was a little sketch, but
True.
um, these things are not designed for the male anatomy. That was Brennan. And forgetting your fleece was my last quote from
um,
Lenny. All right,
well,
jumping in, like I tried to do earlier before I was kindly interrupted. Thank you, Bruce, for the reminder.
you guys heard it. Kevin likes when I interrupt him. I'm
That
writing
is
that
not
down.
what I said. This is the exception, not the rule. It's very obvious that you're not writing anything.
I have a pen and paper. What do you mean?
Yeah, it was very obvious you weren't writing anything.
Writing it down in my mental mind.
You'll forget it in 30 minutes. Um, all right, so their next clue, it's a picture of a monument in the word Tatooine.
Yes.
Did you recognize Tatooine, Bruce?
Yeah, that's Luke Skywalker, Anakin Skywalker's home planet. So,
See, I didn't know that, but I knew you're a Star Wars fan, so I was curious
yeah,
if you recognized it without.
probably one of the planets we go to the most, if not the biggest one.
Okay. Anyway, they had to go to this monument 300 miles away, in the Sahara Desert. Oh, I also did have a quote from Drew earlier where he said that Tatooine is from Star Wars. I didn't know that until
I
Drew said
even
it
wore a
there.
shirt today to match it. Anakin Skywalker, the Eras Tour.
There you go. I didn't know Anakin Skywalker did an Eras tour.
My friend Casey at college was wearing this when I visited one time, and I found out where she ordered it and ordered it because I thought it was so funny. So,
That tracks.
yeah. I have like three different Eras Tour shirts, and this is the only one I think I got for myself. You got me one. Brett got me an actual one from a concert, and I have this
Hmm. Yep. Wait, you have a Jeff Probst one too.
Oh yeah, two that I bought myself. I bought that one too. So four. Three more, and I have one for every day of the week.
We'll see what we can do about that. Anyway, we found out that Paul and Amy they moved up to fourth based on on time credit from production interference out of their control. I think this is why Wikipedia is wrong or disagrees.
Yeah, because they must have corrected it from fifth to fourth because of the time credit, even though that's not what we saw.
Right. And I mean,
This,
I think that makes sense. So it's not wrong. It's just you can't rely on that for a finishing order when we're
yeah.
talking about that exact week.
Also, production. Like, can we get our production problems together a little bit here?
No kidding. I also
I know
I
it's
did have
season
to
one, but come on.
I did have to say this. They were given time credits for production interference. What about that one season? It was before we podcasted this show where the father and son went home, or the father and mom went home, or father and mom,
Mother and
mother
son.
and son. It was
Because their
Danny.
car with their camera car
Yeah. Why
don't
didn't they
get
give him
following
time
them.
credit? Why don't they give him time credit anymore
I don't
for
know.
production
I
interference?
don't need to get on my soapbox about that camera car. You in the audience have heard me do that enough times, I think.
Right. But I've just never really noticed this time credit idea. Why don't
Aren't you glad I didn't know remember time credits existed when that happened? My
I'm
soapbox would have been so much more irritating if I had had an actual leg to stand on. Which I
yeah,
did
I'm so
have a
glad
leg
you
to
did.
stand on. It was stupid, but if I had like an actual solution, I would have been more irritating.
Right. Well, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
I still think they punished the candidate for the camera car not doing their job, but oh well.
but we have to have the camera car.
I know, but like, keep up.
And if like you don't mess up every once in a while.
I know, but I don't punish other people for my mistakes. We punished the contestants for the camera car driver not being able to keep
So
up.
nobody has ever been directly affected in a negative way by an action you've done, a mess up you've made.
I don't know. Probably, but it wasn't like intentionally doing it. Like they intentionally didn't give them the time credit, didn't do any of that. They just said, "You're going home." I just didn't like how it was handled. That's all. I don't think they deserve to go home. That episode, at least.
That's fair. I just don't know what your solution is.
Well, now I have one. Now I have time credits.
But I'm assuming there's a reason they don't do time credit anymore.
I would love to hear that because this seemed like it worked pretty well.
Well, it worked here because it was a non-ELN.
No, this one's not non-England. The
Oh
next one
shoot,
is.
that's the next one. My bad.
Spoiler alert: we have more production issues.
Um, yeah. Anyway,
But it worked in this leg just fine. They go home anyway because they got lost for 6 hours. But you know,
right. But I'm assuming there's something along the road somewhere that made it to why it's not a viable option.
I also feel like I ruined any chance we have of getting the camera car driver on the show. But oh well. Sorry, camera car driver, if you're listening.
How do you anticipate that we were going to find the camera car driver anyway? Don't think you can just look up on
I don't
Instagram
know. It's
camera
just
car
kind of
driver.
my running bit that like I assume everyone is listening to our show. I said that the PepsiCo execs are anytime I bring someone up, I say of course they're listening. So
Hmm. Fair enough.
if the camera car driver is listening, he's not very happy with me right now.
That's fair.
Of course it is. I said it.
Yeah, okay. All right. So once you get to the monument, you're gonna get into a truck and there's a detour clue there. Listening or puzzling? Do you want to explain listening or puzzling?
Yeah, so we find a Star Wars movie set, which ever since last episode when we got a clue that said we were going to Tunisia, I knew that's where they filmed a lot of the Tatooine stuff, so I was hoping we'd get like a film location or theme challenge or something. Go to one of the filming locations at Kasar Hadada and use a walkie-talkie to find another walkie-talkie in this like labyrinth of huts and caves that look like Obi-Wan's hut in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
And puzzling that no one did is you piled Sultane and you solve a simple dice game to receive their next clue. No, find Kisar Peled, not piled. Find Kisar Peled Sultane and you solve a dice game to receive the next clue. And no one did that.
Nope. Nobody did that. Everybody did the listening. Also, uh, there's to mention that you had the option to either self-drive to the detour or you could pay $50 to a driver to drive you. And the teams that did the driver were Kevin and Drew, Nancy and Emily, Lenny and Karen, and Rob and Brennan, while Guido, Frank and Margarita, and Paul and Amy drove themselves.
Interesting.
And Kevin and Drew paid $50 for the driver, and that ended up paying off because even though Guido was the first team to get the clue, Kevin and Drew got to the detour before them.
Yeah, we're choosing listening, right?
Yeah, probably.
At least that's what I'd be arguing. Not only it's easier, I just want to see the movie set and say I saw that, which is secondary, but still.
Well, according to Phil, puzzling was easier.
It doesn't sound easier though. Like dice game sounds like we're leaving it up to chance a lot, and that could take forever.
There.
Like maybe not easier is the word. Listening leaves a lot more in our control, and I get to see a Star Wars filming set, which
That would probably be why we would do it.
but that's my secondary reason. I'm putting the team first because it genuinely, I'd rather have more in my control than be relying on dice to give me a number I need. Because that could take 5 rolls or 500 rolls.
Right.
If it's like Yahtzee, we're going to be there forever if we're needing specific rolls.
Right.
Yahtzee's fun though.
Anyway, Kevin and Drew, they were climbing up on roofs and stuff to try to mess Guido up.
I love it so much. It's so
It,
smart.
it kind of worked.
It did work completely. When they left, Bill and Joe were climbing up on roofs.
Yeah. But once you finish the task, you have to proceed to Kasar Golan.
Yeah.
Um, and they need to make their way along a series of treacherous roads with the only things you have are a compass, a map, and yellow stones leading the way.
Yeah.
And we find out during this time that Amy is throwing up the whole leg.
That's a problem.
Yes. Also, here's where I wrote in my notes, Bruce, because we saw everybody choosing listening over puzzling. Stop doing unbalanced detours.
See, the problem is I'm not convinced. I don't know that we can say it was or wasn't unbalanced. We never saw the other one. Maybe it was equal difficulty, just no one chose it.
But that's never.
Oh, he froze. Uh oh.
Hello?
Oh, I had your audio. There you are. You froze.
I was there the whole time.
Oh, see, on my end, you froze. Interesting.
On my end, nobody froze.
But see, like with the dancing and singing one from either last season or the season before, we had one team. I like we had teams do both, so we could see both and be like, yeah, this one's clearly easier. We never saw puzzling.
Right, but
Like,
my
maybe
thing,
it is, maybe it isn't harder. Who knows?
no, my thing is that when you have balanced detours, you cannot convince me that all seven of these teams have the same exact skill set. If the detours are balanced, people will go to both.
Maybe.
They will. I feel very confident in that. You
I'm
might
not
have one
convinced.
or two, but somebody will do it. Not all the teams have the same skill set.
I mean, yes, not everyone has the same skill set, but you can misjudge a detour. It happens all the time, and they end up switching. Like, you can make
Yeah,
the wrong
but they
choice.
end up switching.
Yeah, but this was the first season. You hadn't seen anyone switch before. I'm not gonna say this was unbalanced because I never saw what the other one was. I don't know how hard it was or wasn't.
Fair enough. That's just my stance
Yeah.
on it. Also, there's a really funny moment here. Lenny and Karen are sitting in the back of this car, and Lenny looks at Karen. He's got this somber look on his face, and he's silent, staring, and unsatisfied. And all of a sudden, he goes and he gives her a high five.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny.
Lenny and Karen had a bit of an episode this week, and they had a bit of a time finding something later on.
Mm,
I've come to the conclusion I don't like either of them.
that's fair. But guess what? It's roadblock time. Who
Yes,
wants to go for a ride? Do you want to explain the roadblock?
one team member has to ride a camel and use a set of compass directions to reach the flag that's visible in the distance in just the middle of the desert, and the other one is trekking alongside the camel on foot. And once they reach the route marker, they find a new set of directions to the pit stop.
Yeah.
I'm torn on what we're doing because I want to ride the camel, but you're the directions guy, so you probably have to ride the camel, even though that looks way more fun than walking.
If you think you can run the compass, I'll walk, but
No, I don't. I'm not bad with directions, but I don't have experience using a compass. So I begrudgingly have to walk, but riding a camel looks like fun. My mom rode one up Mount Sinai years ago. So,
for to be fair, compasses are not hard.
yeah, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know where to begin.
60 degrees. You just gotta point it until it lines up with the number you're looking for
No, okay.
and go in that direction.
Yeah, you'd still be the one doing it, but I want to ride the camel.
Okay. Well, the camel riders here were Kevin. Hey, I have to ride the camel. Kevin rode the camel. Kevin, Joe, Emily, Brennan, Karen, and Margarita. And we didn't have Paul or Amy do it because I never got that far. Um, but anyway, for $50 extra, you can hire a camel handler to help you manage the camel.
That's smart. That's a smarter use of $50 than the driving thing.
I don't know. Kevin and Drew got first place because of the driving thing.
Yeah, but if you get a stubborn, like we saw, I think it was last season or just some season we've watched, where we had like an ox or something pulling a cart, and a few of them just wanted to stand completely still. And our team struggled with that. If you get a
Hmm.
stubborn camel that doesn't want to move, having that professional there is helpful.
I know. I'm just saying I don't know that I think it's smarter than the driver.
Uh,
In a country that you don't know, in places you've never been to, having
yeah,
somebody from that country driving you is probably a big advantage.
true. I guess you can make the argument for either one being
Yeah,
smarter. I'm more inclined to spend my money on the camel, but that's because I'm not the directions person anyway. So that's your job.
that's fair. All right, Kevin and Drew, team number one. Um,
This episode flew by. How are we already at the first team finishing?
No kidding. I do have my notes in here that Paul was ready to quit because they
Yeah,
got
he was
lost.
at one point. It just didn't seem as strong as usual.
And Frank and Margarita also got lost. And then Guido come in as team number two.
So I
And
texted you yesterday the Lenny and Karen thing that like I don't like how she talks to him, but he is kind of useless sometimes.
yeah.
What I was watching when I was texting that was the scene where they're trying to figure out where they're going, and he goes, "Well, why don't we go where we saw Frank and Margarita?" And she just looks at him and goes, "Lenny, that's where we just were, and you told him to turn around." I'm
Yep.
like, I don't like. I'm over them at this point. This happens every week. Either they get lost, or it's like the Eiffel Tower where he's just kind of useless, and they're not
Right.
fun to watch.
Right.
But that's what I was watching when I texted you yesterday.
hmm Nancy and Emily finished third. And then we have Lenny and Karen, what you were referring to, getting lost. And once they finally figured out where they were supposed to go, Lenny was moving around like a slug.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like the way she talks to him, but I kind of understand it at the same time.
That's when he said, "You're forgetting your fleece."
You're in the middle of a desert and you're focused on getting a fleece jacket.
Yep. All
Oh,
right. Robin Brennan, team four. That was a nice comeback from them.
I like them. They're fun.
hmm Margarita almost fell off the camel while grabbing a clue.
That would have been bad.
Yeah. And then we had Frank and Margarita finishing fifth and Lenny and Karen in sixth. Paul and Amy don't even get to the camels. They somehow drive around aimlessly long enough that they find the pit stop and they drive to the pit stop. They get a round of applause from everybody else before Phil eliminates them. Uh, I will say Paul and Amy, they did a lot of like arguing. They did a lot of things that were annoying throughout the season. But at the end, when it was all said and done, Paul was very reassuring to Amy and making sure
Yeah,
she didn't feel like it was all her fault because she was sick. And I felt like that was really good to see. It was
yeah.
heartwarming.
Other than, hey, if you don't want to be here, let's quit every few seconds. Like, they were fun. I enjoyed them more
Hmm,
than I'm enjoying Lenny and Karen right now.
that's valid. And then next time on, there's a airport uh what do you call it? Strike that makes things very interesting.
Also, they stumbled into the pit stop. If they hadn't, how much longer would they have let them roam around the desert aimlessly before they just eliminated them?
This is season one. I don't know if eliminating would even happen.
Like, is there a chance they're just driving around for like 12 hours in the desert or until their car runs out of gas?
Maybe.
That's crazy to think about. I'm glad they randomly stumbled into the pit stop.
Right. Me too. All right, you want to do power rankings?
Sure.
All right, who you got in sixth?
Well,
Like I don't know.
they finished second to last and they're starting last. It's Lenny and Karen, and it's not just because they're getting on my nerves, because this isn't likability. But like I said, like look at France, like the Eiffel Tower. He went all the way up there and came back down without really doing anything. He's moving around, as you said, like a slug this week, and they have no team chemistry because she's yelling at him for everything and not being very understanding or helpful.
hmm
So they're just kind of a mess right now.
I have Lenny and Karen here as well, and they're not very solid. That's all there is to it. They're the worst team left. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Who you got in fifth?
See, this is weird because we have teams finishing lower that normally are higher, and teams that haven't finished really high yet finished higher this week. Ah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Frank and Margarita here. Them and Rob and Brennan have kind of been running neck and neck. They finished behind them this week, but Nancy and Emily finishing third is throwing me off because they got off to a rough start, but they were good here and they had a good finish last week. So they're heating up, but I'm just not.
Yeah, because you said that you needed to see one more good week from Nancy and Emily,
And
and
I
they gave you
did.
another
That's why
one.
Frank and Margarita were here.
Yeah, I also have freaking Margarita here. I don't think they'll stay this low.
No.
I think, but it's hard. It's hard to justify putting them higher than any of the people, the other four teams at this point.
Yeah.
Who do you have it for?
Robin Brennan.
Gonna elaborate?
Uh, they're kind of in the same Frank and Margarita boat finish wise. They're always finishing next to each other. They were working together at the beginning. They just finished ahead of him. Here's why they're at 4 instead of 5.
I actually have Emily and Nancy here.
Interesting.
I think they are heating up, but I have my reasons that I'll say in a minute why I put the three teams I did above them. I think they're heating up. I think that they're doing well, but here's where I have them going. Who's your three?
Nancy and Emily, and my power rankings are boring because they're finishing order up to this point. But I mean, the teams finished in strength order mostly this week, so
My three is Rob and Brennan. Um, they started like when they started this leg, or like right after they had started this leg, they were in they started in second to last. They were in last at one point. And so to see them from early middle being in last to finishing in fourth, um, I thought that that spoke to how good they are still.
yeah.
Who you got in second?
Kevin and Drew, they won this leg, but I still think Bill and Joe are a better team game wise overall.
I actually flip-flopped that. I had Kevin and Drew at one, Guido at two this week. Um, I think that both of them are like neck and neck to who's the better team, but uh, good finish this week, or great finish this week. Good finish last week. I gave the nod to Kevin and Drew.
Miles Garrett is getting traded to the Rams. That sucks.
Who is?
Miles Garrett.
Really?
Adam Schefter posted it on Facebook 7 minutes ago. Uh, well, my screen's.
Hang on. No way.
In exchange for Garrett, the Rams are sending Pro Bowl edge Jared Verse, the 27 first round pick, and other draft pick compensation still being negotiated.
Oh my Lord.
So the trade hasn't. They're still finalizing it. Hopefully, it falls through like Max Crosby to the Ravens did. But that stinks if that goes through.
That's crazy.
I hate that. Why is
I'm sh
NFL news always breaking when we're recording this
I
show?
know.
I
Anyway, this was a fun episode. Do you have anything else you wanted to add about it?
I don't want Miles Garrett to be a Ram, and that's a comment on the Pit Stop Pals episode, not the Amazing Race episode. The Amazing Race episode was fun.
Yeah. Make sure you're checking out all of our other Reality Realm shows. You can check out Tribal Council Chat. We just did our biannual rites of passage where we went through the whole cast. We compared them. We talked about their games. It was a good old time.
Super short episode.
Oh yeah, like you'll blink and it's over. Um, Make sure to be on the lookout for all things coming from Round Table Talk. Um, New Generation Challenge podcast should be coming back sometime this summer. We are in summer, so you'll also hopefully get some BB brains coming soon, right?
I need to talk to him. I'll see.
Okay, TBD. Um, Make sure to check out all our social medias. You can find us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. YouTube, wherever you do your social media. Give us a like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever you like to do on whatever platform you like to do it. We will see you next time. Also, buy from our Redbubble merch store. Bruce is getting lonely being the only customer. With all of that being said, the world is waiting for you. Good luck.
Travel safe.
Go.
Go.